welcome back to another fan reading on r/CREEPCAST. Today we are looking at a story called I Used to Be Able to Lucid Dream, but but I got locked out. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone here. It is by the artist named Nolan Paranoid. I will leave a link in the description below. And the tag he has next to his name is State Forced Homosexuality. Oh, man. Polyamory as Hell was a great episode to laugh at. Anyway, hopefully this looked really interesting. The last few stories I've been reading have been kind of stinkers, but I enjoyed reading them nonetheless. Anyway, I have no idea what this is about, but we'll see that. So let's get right into this digital piece of parchment. I gotta learn to talk. Oh my lord. I used to be able to lucid dream, but I got locked out. I used to have dreams. Nice dreams. Now I can't even have nightmares. I'm granted. My lord, we're already off to a great start. I am granted no solace from the nothingness behind my eyelids. To get right into it, it happened when I was young, when I could control my once own nightly gift. I would do silly things a child would think of, like flying or interacting with the cartoon characters, stuff like that. Then one day, I pushed it. I guess something decided I wasn't allowed anymore, and a door appeared. I'll take it from there with the door. What? Hold on. Then one day, I pushed it. I guess something decided I wasn't allowed anymore, and a door appeared. I'll take it from there with that door. Okay. My lord, I don't know why I struggle to read right now. I'm awake. I don't know why I'm struggling so much. Okay, let's get through this. The dream I'd been having is lost in a whirlwind of forgetfulness now, and the setting doesn't matter much anyway, but I do remember that door clear as day. It was a fire exit door, pressed haphazardly into a wall it probably had no business being against. I didn't put it there. I was curious. My hands were on the handle before processing could ever even occur. It gave easily under my push and swung open to a fire escaping railing. Red metal stairs you'd see on the sides of the apartments that led downwards. The escape wasn't attached to a brick wall, though. It wasn't attached to anything. On all sides and down at the bottom was the pitch black, an absence in my mind. I remember what the darkness sounded like, humming taped pleasantly against my eardrums, drowning out anything that could have been happening behind me. It was certainly out of place, but I was too hubris or curious to think about it that much. Put too much trust in the benevolence of my brain. When I focused on the metal, I found myself several steps down. The overlapping shadows below stayed their distance. Behind me, they overtook the way I had descended. My steps made the stairs sing like a time-telling bell. I took exactly 12 steps down in the rhythm I'd heard many times from the City Hall bell tower. I'd found it funny at the time. Time never makes sense in dreams. That's a pretty common idea. Dreams are like your own, little pocket dimension where anything goes, more or less. All that to say, I don't know how long I was walking down those stairs. Whenever I thought it would end, it just kept going further. In the most dreams, I would just appear at the bottom of the stairs. Okay, the endless staircase reminds me of the SCP endless staircase. I do not remember the exact number. The humming void was growing steadily louder, and I was becoming increasingly unnerved. I wanted to wake up. Typically, that was enough to break me away from my nightmares. But my body just kept going, down and down and down. I turned around and felt something drop within me. There was a hallway there now, a long, pale blue-walled hallway that led out into bright infinity. Faced forward again and found a continuation of the hallway. Fluorescent light just existed above me. Sterile air burned my lungs, and my skin felt wrong. "Hello?" I called out. My voice sounded off, like my ears had some kind of filter that made the noise staticky. I had spoken loudly, but no echo gave me company. Nothing answered me. At the time, I wished something had. Tried waking up again, but there was something blocking me, so I just started walking again. There was nothing else to do after all. The hallway stretched on, just like the stairs, but was all bright and closed in. I found myself missing the staircase. Decided to try humming what the void had been singing to me just to fill the silence with something. My humming was immediately met with a companion tune. Alright, that was worded weird. I stopped and spun around to try and find a source, but I was still the only soul walking this stretch of hall. The walking resumed, inciting no noise from my steps, as a blue carpet absorbed the sounds. After some time of noiseless meandering, I started humming again. The interloping noise began as well, but I kept it up, not letting something I can't see dictate my control of this dream. As my humming grew louder, the others grew quieter, but that static film covered my ears again. What? I mumbled in confusion and was nearly knocked back from the thunderous echo that returned to my senses. My breathing had picked up to join my heart as I tried to understand. What? I yelled back, trying to match the volume. Nothing. Hello? I spoke quietly and was met with a less earth-shaking but still substantial echo. Weird, I said, and the hall agreed with me. Finally, I turned and the hall was granted to my sight, a choice to be made, a way to break the monotonous single path. But when I got to the turn, it was the exact hall I had been traversing. I mean, exact. My gaze fell to the same blue shag carpet. I saw imprints in the yarn. That held two options for me, both of which I did not enjoy thinking about. I was trapped with no true choice other than continuing forward until something different happened. Or something was also walking these halls and maybe I shouldn't have been playing with that echo. With fear conducting a crescendo of a headache, I kept on my original trek. The longer I walked, more branches appeared, all with those taunting footsteps embedded in the carpet. With each step forward, I felt a gnawing sensation of being watched. No, I wasn't being watched. I was being listened to. I stopped walking and held my breath, staring straight ahead, not sure what I was waiting for. Then I heard it, humming. Not what I had heard on the staircase, not from the fluorescent vying for my attention, and not my own. I slowly scanned the hall as my feet matched the speed to push my back to the wall. Infinity in both directions, branches placed haphazardly between. Where was this humming? I closed my eyes and focused. It was coming from my right, the direction I had been walking from, and it was getting louder. Did that mean it was closer or far? My eyes refused to open again as my head faced the direction of my nails. My eyes refused to open again as my head faced the direction. My nails dug into the dry wall as an anchor to focus. Focus on waking up. Then it stopped, and I realized my lungs were burning from the lack of use. I slowly, as softly as I could, exhaled through my nose. No echo. Tapping answered instead. It was a slow, so soft it thundered around my head. I could feel the vibrations against the wall run up my fingernails, and I kept my eyes screwed shut. The tapping increased in volume, filling my mind with static now, as it ramped up in speed. Now not just on the wall I was pressed against, but every surface available. My body cooled in on itself, trying to avoid the trajectory of this thing's warpath. But I never felt a collision. I didn't even feel it move past. It just stopped. The humming returned, buzzing behind my eyes like a trapped wasp. Like a hive of wasps, my hands left the wall to cover my ears, hoping to block the noise, but that only created an echo chamber of malice within my skull. It's my dream. I can go where I want, I responded over the buzzing. Not sure if anything was said or not, but there was some kind of conversation between me and the being I refused to look upon. I want to leave now. Let me leave! Several somethings wrapped around my arm and dug into my skin with pinpoint nails. Long fingers is what I concluded. I'm sorry, please! My body was yanked to the side at the as the being started to drag me against the carpet. I screamed, but it was so muffled I couldn't tell if my throat even worked anymore. The carpet eventually turned into something smooth, either wood or linoleum, and I was left upwards into cold air. I twisted my head to the side and cracked open a single eye to avoid seeing the entity with the goal of distinguishing where it was being held. My feet dangled over a pitch-free fall. I promise I won't come back, ever! In pure instinct, I looked to the entity with a pleading expression that immediately contorted to horror. I still cannot fully describe the face I was met with. The face apparently my own mind made up in a state of delusional unrest. The only thing I could say for sure is this. Every orifice was a vortex. And the moment I witnessed its visage, it distorted and released me into a free fall, back to the waking world with a thud against my bed. Ever since that terrifying dream, the lucidity had completely left me, but with something taken, something was given. Everywhere I've been, and still go, that face haunts the edge of my vision every waking second. My only respite is the nothingness behind my eyelids. Wow, that was a lot more enjoyable than the last 3 stories I've read. Good job. I love the description and like this like vortex being that was like chasing him through his dreams. I think that was kind of cool. It's like it was there to like, you cannot have this power anymore. This is my realm. You cannot be here any longer. That's kind of the message I got from this creature. Oh, good lord, I used creature. Anyway, that's about it. Thank you, Null and Paranoid, for the story, and I hope you keep writing. Hopefully, I'll run into some other stories you've written or possibly wrote. Like I said before, I will leave a description below I will leave a link in the description below so you can check this guy out, and a link to teirdalin, the guy that made the song I use for my intro and outro. Makes some sick music. Go check him out. So, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all the support and really, just kind comments in the most recent videos. Just really, thank you guys so much. Anyway, like I said before, that's it. You all have a great day. All right, later.